A Mask Moscow sign on the state highway at the Moscow Cemetery was reported vandalized early Tuesday morning, making it the third time this month one of the signs was illegally painted. The sign normally reads Mask Moscow at the top, shows 3 colorful face masks in the middle, and reads Enforce Because We Care on the bottom of the sign.
A relief center to assist victims of this month's firestorm in Whitman County will operate in Malden later this week. The Babb Road Fire Recovery Group will operate a multi-agency resource center on Friday and Saturday. The center will serve anyone who is affected by these fires. Resources available will include financial assistance to those who qualify. The center will be at the Malden's temporary City Hall from 9 to 5 on Friday and 9 to 3 on Saturday.
Troy Henderson, the Whitman County Health Department Director, said he expects COVID-19 viral activity to decrease in Pullman in the coming days. However, the University of Idaho is reporting an increase in viral activity in people who traveled over Labor Day weekend. Henderson also said that Whitman County will have more information this week. He said that the decrease is partially because people are leaving Pullman and not coming back. He also attributed it to Pullman police ticketing large gatherings.
One local group is working to help displaced people by the fires. Natalie Newcomb reports from one of these cities, Malden, where a recovery fund is growing for victims.
The smoke cloud enveloped the town, in nothing flat in probably 10 or 15 minutes.
This is Patrick Marshall. He was one of the few people who ignored evacuation orders and stayed in Malden to protect his home. The downtown area, which consisted of the library, post office, city hall, and fire station, all went up in flames. Marshall took his lawn hose and tried to put out fires across an area of almost 1 city block. Marshall lost his rental house and his mother and stepfather's old home. Marshall is hoping to get some financial support. In Pullman, United Way, a nonprofit organization, created the Pacific Northwest Wildfire Relief and Recovery Fund for those directly impacted or displaced by wildfires in Malden, Pine City, and the greater area of rural Whitman County. This is Eric Fajiran, the executive director of United Way in Whitman County. He says the recovery part is important to focus on.
The recovery part is a very important part because losing your home or even a whole town in Whitman County's case is a long-term problem that requires long-term solutions. So it's not just the relief, it's the recovery aspect too.
Fajiran says the money will stay local and 100% of the money will go to victims. United Way Whitman County says they will not take any portion of the money as administrative salary. You can donate to the Wildfire Relief and Recovery Fund by sending a check or online at uwpnw.org/wildfire or text wildfire to 20222, which makes a $10 donation off of your phone bill. I'm Natalie Newcomb in Pullman.
A tree falling on a power line is most likely the cause of wildfires that ravaged the town of Malden over Labor Day weekend. Avista Utilities did not find any problems with their own equipment that could have caused the fire. The tree reportedly made contact with a power line during the September 7th windstorm.
Whitman County prosecutors have declined to charge a Pullman man of a mugging due to insufficient evidence. The incident occurred on August 20th at 1:30 a.m. The victims are a Pullman couple who are attempting to sell 34-year-old Daniel Pills a tablet, a cell phone, and a tent. But the couple says Pills pulled a knife on them and stole the items.
WSU officials are being pressured to amplify punishments for those who receive public safety infractions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Phil Weiler, WSU Vice President for Marketing and Communications, the university does not want to pursue expulsive action against those who violate the public safety rules. However, Pullman City Council stated for the first time infraction fines have increased from $150 to $250 and will allow officers to ticket partygoers as well as party hosts. Despite protests outside City Hall and several residents asking during Monday night's Moscow City Council meeting for an end to the face mask order, the council unanimously extended the order until January 5th. The current order is set to expire October 6th, and the new order states that face coverings must be worn in public settings where 6-foot social distance cannot be maintained with non-household members.
The city of Pullman will open its doors to its first charter school in 2021. The school opening was made possible by the Pullman Charter School Initiative, which has been working on this project for the past couple of years. One of the founding members, Layla Sullivan, said the school will be centered around the Montessori method, which is a data-driven model of education. If everything goes as planned and the PCSI group receives final approval, it will educate students K through 5 and it will expand through K through 9 in 2022.
The annual sales of WSU specialty plates have set another record after raising $673,000 for the WSU General Scholarship Fund. The plates have raised over $7 million since they were first brought out in 2007. The WSU plate is currently the most popular plate in Washington, with almost 23,000 on the road.
$7 million, that is a good chunk of change.
Yes, it is.
I personally don't have the Cougar plates. Do you, Kylie?
No, I don't. My car's actually registered in Oregon, but if I were ever to have one in Washington, I'd for sure get them.
I have the WSU frame over it, so I think that counts, but you know what, we'll just go with it. Coming up, the rate of COVID increases in the Latah County.
And a Pullman police officer recommended partygoers to stay out of sight. We'll be right back.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
An update on neighboring counties. Latah is seeing an uptick in COVID cases. The New York Times reports 11 cases have been confirmed, bringing the total to just over 330. To give some context, in the last 14 days, 70 new people have tested positive in the area.
Body cam footage has been released of a Pullman police officer telling partygoers to stay out of sight and out of mind. Coming out of Krem 2 News, parties thrown at a house in late August received a ticket and a warning to keep all gatherings masked up or indoors. The host was WSU women's basketball coach Cammie Etheridge. Etheridge responded to the video, promising to do better for her community.
Well, it seems like most of the smoke has cleared out of Pullman, but what's the weather going to look like moving forward, Andrew?
Yeah, it's been nothing but clear skies the last few days, and if we look at today right now, our high, of course, is 77, and we got a low of 49. 9 miles per hour of wind, so nothing too bad there. And if we look here at our sunrise and sunset, we're going to have about 12 hours of daylight as we're moving here into the fall. And if we check out tomorrow as well, we're going to notice that the wind has picked up to 17 miles an hour, and we are losing about 11 degrees of heat. So a little bit of rain over the night isn't going to do too much. It's going to burn off, even though we are losing a little bit of that heat. And we're losing 4 minutes of daylight from today. Tomorrow, a little bit of rain, not going to do too much. Moving on to the state map. You can see Olympia, 64 degrees, Seattle, 65 degrees. Now down south here, we're going to have a lot of winds coming up into this area, and that's going to bring some rain in there too. The Seattle-Tacoma area is going to get about 1.5 inches of rain as well. So anyone on an evening commute, you might want to watch out for hydroplaning, anything of that nature. Yakima, 75 degrees, they have a low of 51. Moving to the Tri-Cities, they're the highest with 81 degrees. In Spokane, Pullman, they're doing all right, hanging around mid to high 70s. Isn't going to do too much there. That rain shadow effect is kind of keeping that rain out for a little bit, But if we move into the 5cast, we're going to see that there is going to be some rain later on in this week. It's currently partly cloudy, and it's going to stay like that Wednesday into Friday. 77 dropping into the 60s, and we're going to hang around the low 60s before we pop up into the mid and then up into the low 70s, and that's where it's kind of going to hang out there. Those cloudy days, Saturday and Sunday. Might have a chance of rain, don't really know yet, just kind of depends if that weather's going to move on to this side of the state. Back to you over at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. That was a very informative 5-day forecast from you. Coming up in sports, Lakers have regained control versus the confident Nuggets in Game 4. We'll be right back.
The Lakers will take on the Nuggets in Game 4 of the series tomorrow evening. The Nuggets took Game 3 last night as Jamal Murray scored 28 points to lead the Nuggets in a 106-114 victory. By the looks of things, Game 4 is going to be a heater. The Mariners played tonight against the Astros in T-Mobile Park. Seattle dropped yesterday's contest 6-1 with the Astros, struggling to climb in the standings in the AL West. If they win tonight, they will be seated 4th in their division. Moon News 8, we'll be right back.
Thanks for watching. If you tuned in late or missed any of our previous newscasts, you can always find them on YouTube.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/MN8, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good evening.